Yeah, I think if you put football coaches in charge of everything, life would be good and society would be better.
Dan Reardon is joking, kind of. He's been coaching football for nearly 30 years with kids from all walks of life, and he believes the diversity a football roster provides gives players an inherent advantage in life.
I don't know. It's interesting because if you haven't been in a locker room, you don't understand. There's humility that's taught. There's yeah, pulling for common goals. There's so many different things that the game can teach you about life that could be powerful lessons for the rest of the country. Obviously,
We have to find a way to bridge the gap between what society is showing our young people and what it really is.
Chaney head coach Chris Amill has invited Youngstown police officer and longtime football friend Frank Rutherford to come speak to his players to help bridge that gap. He's also planning daily check-ins with every player in hopes of providing them a safe place to talk.
You can learn a lot from kids because kids just naturally care and love. Hate, racism, and all that stuff is taught.
When you're a part of a team, when you're a part of a program, everybody's a brother, everybody's a sister, everybody's an uncle, everybody. It doesn't matter what color you are. That means nothing to us.
Chet Allen will coach more than 30 kids this season at Liberty from all different socioeconomic backgrounds.
We're all in this together no matter what people say. In this locker room, we're a family. We stress family, we talk family, we believe family, and it means everybody working for one common goal, and one common goal in our lives should be everybody working for each other to make everybody happy, everybody prosper, everybody viable citizens of society.
At Hickory High School, head coach Bill Dungee has one of the most diverse rosters in the valley, with kids from rural areas to the suburbs to public housing. He's experienced racism firsthand, and as a leader of young men, feels obligated to address these issues.
Obviously, I grew up in Farrell, played for Farrell, and I think of my football teams, we had a handful of white players on our team. Then I go to Allegheny College, and there's a handful of black players on the team. So for me, it was one extreme to the other. And personally, I learned to grow and learn differences about culture, because really it's about accepting differences and really celebrating differences and not being afraid of it. I think my greatest contribution has to be to teach them how to be great young men and to be productive citizens of society, because they're going to be men longer than they're going to be football players.
If kids come through our program and play on our team, whether it's 1 year, 4 years, whatever it is, if they don't have a significant amount of growth as a person, then we failed as coaches.
For Sports Team 27, I'm Ryan Allison.
It doesn't matter what color we are or what it is. And I feel extremely upset that this has been going on in our lives for so long, that our brothers and sisters, some of them don't know how to walk around anywhere without being scrutinized, without being chastised, without being brutalized, that none of it should happen in the human race.
When you play sports, you have to put your pride on the back burner. You have to put your selfish ways and your selfishness on the back burner, because it's about us. And sometimes as adults, we can't get past that.
My job is to expose them to truths. And I think one thing that I wanted to present to them is that racism is not a big city thing. It's not a deep South issue. It's a world issue, and it's a human being issue. So I wanted to let them know that, yes, your coach who, played right here in the Shenango Valley, went to college right in Allegheny College in Meadville, PA, experienced that right here in the community. It's not that we all have to agree. We're never going to agree on everything. But sports allows us to come together for one common goal.
I wanted to go because, this is my city and I take pride in my city, and I don't want people tearing up my city, whether you live here or not.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to explain that to our guys and know, life's not fair, and, things happen, but it's just the way you go about things and handle it, that is what's gonna make things right and wrong.
So one thing
it's more than football. Football is just a vehicle to help get you to where you want to go in life, and I feel that way for all sports. I tell them all the time, yes, we're here for football. I'm going to ride you. I want you to understand that, but I expect to be invited to your wedding. I expect to get pictures as you get older when your babies are born, because that's the relationship that I feel I'm gonna have, and I do have with my players. I mean, it's more than a coach, and a lot of times it's more than being a mentor, and that's why when I talk about my players, I always refer to them as my boys, because
I feel like this generation being the future leaders, if they handle, this point in history the right way, they're going to be able to advance these issues the proper way for the next 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, for the foreseeable future. But the lack of diversity is a negative in my mind. So to me, it's a real positive. I use my own personal example. My own personal example was, they need to be courageous and speak up when something wrong is going on, and not to be afraid to use their voice. And sometimes just calling somebody out on a comment can spark change in that person. So we encourage them to do those type of things. But, the thing about being in that locker room, if there's 100 different personalities in that locker room, you don't necessarily like every guy on your team, but you find a way to work with them, and you find a way to work for the common good and the common goals. And, that's something that I think, it just gives those kids an inherent advantage, I think, moving forward, if they're a part of something like that, and you find a way to solve problems and just get things done, for lack of a better way to phrase it.